For more than 5 decades, Dolly Parton has been more than just a singer. She is a global phenomenon, a whirlwind of rhinestones, golden curls, and an unmistakable voice that has echoed from the hollows of Tennessee to the furthest corners of the earth. She is the reigning queen of country music, a woman who built an empire on a foundation of raw talent and unapologetic authenticity. Yet, while the world watched her every move, basked in her infectious laugh, and sang along to her every word, a profound mystery remained tucked away in the shadows of her dazzling spotlight. That mystery is Carl Dean, the man Dolly calls her, Rock the silent partner in a love story that defies every cliché Hollywood has ever produced. Carl Dean has spent the better part of 60 years as a ghost in the machine of Dolly's fame. While Dolly was winning hearts on global stages, Carl was content to remain in the background, avoiding the cameras and the red carpets with a tenacity that bordered on the legendary. He is a man who valued his privacy above the seductive pull of celebrity, choosing a life of simple hard work over the glitz of Nashville's award ceremonies. For decades, fans wondered if he truly existed, with some even joking that he was a mythical figure created to protect the superstar's image. The media, starved for information, filled the silence with speculation and rumors. Yet Carl never wavered, never sought the microphone, and never felt the need to prove his place in her world. But now, after a lifetime of quiet devotion, the man behind the legend has finally decided to share his voice. It isn't a play for attention or a desire to step into the light he once shunned, but rather a rare and intimate glimpse into a partnership that has survived the crushing weight of international stardom. Carl's decision to speak out has sent ripples through the fan base, offering a real story that is far more grounding and beautiful than any tabloid headline could suggest. He isn't interested in clearing his name so much as he is interested in celebrating the woman the world knows as a superstar, but whom he simply knows as his wife. Their bond is a testament to the idea that true love doesn't need an audience to be valid. In a world where relationships are often lived out on social media for likes and validation, the Dean-Parton marriage is a throwback to a different era, one built on mutual respect, shared humor, and a loyalty that is as unshakable as the Smoky Mountains where Dolly was born. As we begin to peel back the layers of Carl's silence, we find a man who isn't just Dolly's husband, but the very foundation upon which she was able to build her dreams without ever losing her way home. To understand the strength of their bond, one must travel back to where the music began, in the rugged, mist-covered peaks of the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Born in 1946, Dolly was the fourth of 12 children raised in a home where money was a stranger, but love and melody were the constant guests at the dinner table. She grew up singing in the church, her voice a fragile but determined bird finding its wings amidst the poverty of a mountain upbringing. But Dolly's spirit was too large for the small town that birthed her. The day after her high school graduation, with her belongings packed and her heart set on the horizon, she boarded a bus for Nashville, a city of dreams where she hoped to turn her songs into a future. It was there in 1964 that destiny intervened in the most ordinary of places. An 18-year-old Dolly was standing outside the wishy-washy laundromat, perhaps still smelling of the mountain air and the uncertainty of a new life, when a young man named Carl Dean drove by in his pickup truck. It wasn't a scene from a movie with swelling orchestras. It was raw, real, and immediate. Carl leaned out of the window, their eyes locked, and in that fleeting moment, the universe seemed to shift. While Dolly was focused on the neon lights of Music City, Carl was focused on her. He later confessed that the very second he saw her, a profound certainty took hold of him. "I'm gonna marry that girl," he thought. For Carl, that dusty afternoon in Tennessee wasn't just a chance encounter. It was the day his life truly began. Their courtship was a quiet contrast to the storm of fame that was brewing on the horizon. While Dolly began the grueling hustle of the music industry, eventually finding her first major break as Porter Wagoner's duet partner, Carl remained her steady, grounded companion. He wasn't a musician or a dreamer of fame. He was a man who ran his own asphalt paving business, a worker who understood the value of a day's labor and the sanctity of a promise. Their love didn't need the validation of the industry. In May 1966, they slipped away to Ringgold, Georgia, for a wedding that was as humble as their beginnings. There were no flashing bulbs, no tabloid reporters, and no extravagant gowns, just the two of them, Dolly's mother and a preacher. It was a private covenant, a shared secret between two people who had no idea that one of them was about to become the most famous woman in the world. As the 1970s dawned, the world began to witness the true magnitude of Dolly Parton's star power. Her journey was no longer just a mountain girl's dream. It was a rocket ship fueled by an unmatched work ethic and a soul that could translate any emotion into a melody. In 1974, she reached a pivotal crossroads when she decided it was time to step out from the shadow of Porter Wagoner and go solo. Instead of a cold departure, she gave the world "I Will Always Love You," a musical breakup letter that proved she didn't just leave people behind. She honored them even as she moved forward. While songs like Jolene, Coat of Many Colors, and 9 to 5 turned her into a household name and a crossover phenomenon, the dynamic at home remained remarkably unchanged. As Dolly transformed into a shimmering icon of sequins and sky-high hair, Carl Dean remained the man in the work boots. While his wife was conquering Hollywood in films like Steel Magnolias and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Carl was quietly running his asphalt paving business back in Tennessee. This stark contrast, the glitzy superstar and the down-to-earth contractor, became the secret alchemy of their marriage. For Carl, fame was never a prize to be won. It was an obstacle to be avoided. He famously skipped award shows and red carpets, with Dolly often joking that he would rather go to the dentist than attend a formal event. This absence led to a swirl of outlandish rumors. Because he was so rarely seen, some fans began to speculate that he was a mythical figure, or that he didn't exist at all. Tabloids frequently suggested the marriage was a sham, or that they were secretly divorced. Yet behind the closed doors of their home, Carl was the rock that kept the superstar from drifting too far into the stratosphere. He provided a sanctuary of stability in a world that was constantly demanding more of her. To the world, she was a legend. To Carl, she was the woman he saw in sweats or a robe. His quiet presence didn't signify a lack of interest, but a profound level of security. He was deeply proud of her success, watching from the background with a joy that didn't require a camera's validation. He didn't need to be in the spotlight to love the light she cast on the world. For over 50 years, the silence surrounding Carl Dean was so profound that it became a character of its own in the story of Dolly Parton. The media, unable to capture him in their lenses, resorted to spinning tales of a man who was either a recluse, a myth, or a secret husband living in the shadows of a fictional marriage. But even the deepest silence eventually finds its moment to break. After decades of holding his peace, the man who would rather go to the dentist than attend a red carpet event finally stepped forward to speak his truth. Carl's decision to break his silence wasn't born out of a desire for fame, but from a place of deep, protective love. He saw the central role their marriage had taken in Dolly's public persona and felt it was time to set the record straight. not for the tabloids, but for the legacy of the woman he adores. When he finally reached out to the media, he didn't offer a list of grievances or celebrity gossip. Instead, he offered a testimony of a life well lived in the background of greatness. In his rare interview, Carl shared a perspective that only a husband of 5 decades could possess. He spoke of the day they met, the day his life truly began, with a sweetness that debunked every cynical rumor. "I'm gonna marry that girl," he had thought the moment he locked eyes with her outside that laundromat. For Carl, Dolly was never the queen of country or a Hollywood legend. She was the girl who lights up every room she walks into. He revealed that his greatest source of pride wasn't the empire she built, but the heart she maintained through it all. He also offered a glimpse into the intimate, everyday reality of their bond, a world far removed from the glitter of the stage. The secret to their lasting marriage, he revealed, wasn't found in grand gestures, but in the little things. They find their joy in spontaneous road trips, just the two of them, in their RV driving without a destination to escape the public eye. They stay young through laughter, mocking the ups and downs of life, and themselves with a shared humor that acts as their shield against the world. Perhaps most touching was his description of the real Dolly, the one the cameras never see. While the world sees a glamorous icon, Carl sees a woman in sweats or a robe, and he insists that this is the version of her he loves the most. By speaking out, Carl didn't just prove he existed. He proved that their love was built on a foundation of trust and loyalty that no rumor could ever shake. Beyond the music and the mystery of the man in the wings, there are quiet vulnerabilities Dolly Parton has carried for years, secrets etched into her skin, and others held deep within her heart. For decades, fans have whispered about her constant choice to wear long sleeves and high-neck outfits, fueling wild rumors that the country queen was secretly covered in bold, rebellious ink. Some even speculated she was hiding 2 half-sleeves under her rhinestone blazers. But the truth, as Dolly eventually revealed, is far more delicate and deeply personal. Dolly does indeed have tattoos, but they are not the defiant statements many imagined. They are small, subtle, and rendered in soft pastel colors. More than just art, these tattoos were born from a desire to transform pain into beauty. She used them to cover scars and marks left behind by various medical procedures. Instead of letting those physical reminders of hardship bother her, she chose to bloom over them with images of flowers and her signature butterflies. For Dolly, the butterfly is more than a motif. It is a symbol of transformation, a way of taking the scars of the past and turning them into something that can fly. However, there is one part of her life that carries a different kind of weight: the absence of children. While her career brought her unparalleled joy, she has admitted that not becoming a mother is a reality she has reflected on with a touch of regret. She and Carl Dean had considered starting a family early on, but health challenges, including a partial hysterectomy, in the 1980s meant that dream would not be realized in the traditional way. In typical Dolly fashion, she refused to let this absence become a void. She made peace with her circumstances, famously stating that she believes God didn't let her have children so that everyone else's children could be hers. She has channeled that maternal energy into her nieces, nephews, and godchildren, playfully calling herself a great Aunt Granny. Most significantly, she birthed the Imagination Library, a global initiative that has gifted millions of books to children, ensuring that her legacy of love reaches the hands of the next generation. She may not have raised children of her own, but she has nurtured the dreams of millions, proving that motherhood is not defined by blood, but by the space one makes in their heart for the world. The final chapter of Dolly Parton's story is perhaps best summarized by her most famous anthem, Jolene. For decades, listeners have wondered about the woman who threatened the Queen of Country's happiness. While the name itself was inspired by a young girl with striking red hair and green eyes who asked for an autograph, the spirit of the song was born from a much more personal place. Dolly has revealed that the real Jolene was a bank teller who flirted relentlessly with Carl Dean early in their marriage. Instead of lashing out, Dolly did what only a legend could. She channeled her insecurity into a masterpiece of empathy and vulnerability. She transformed a moment of jealousy into a song that captured the hearts of millions, proving that even a global superstar isn't immune to the fear of losing the one she loves. This honesty has been the hallmark of her life and her marriage. Despite the endless rumors of affairs with stars like Kenny Rogers, Elvis Presley, and Burt Reynolds, Dolly and Carl have remained unshakable. While her chemistry with Rogers was undeniable, both artists maintained they were like siblings choosing to preserve their friendship over a fleeting romance. Through every tabloid headline and every mythical husband theory, their bond has only strengthened. Carl's rare decision to finally speak out didn't just debunk the rumors. It confirmed a love built on trust, loyalty, and a shared sense of humor that keeps them young at heart. Today, the legacy of Dolly and Carl is a beacon of hope in a world of temporary connections. Their marriage, spanning over 60 years, proves that two people can live in completely different worlds, one in the glaring spotlight and the other in the quiet shadows, and still find a perfect harmony. From that first look outside a Tennessee laundromat to their secret road trips in an RV, today they have protected the real version of themselves from the pressures of fame. Dolly remains the dazzling icon the world adores, but in the sanctuary of their home, she is simply the woman Carl loves most in her sweats or a robe. Theirs is a story not of celebrity, but of a profound, enduring partnership that began with a pickup truck and blossomed into a legend.